Oh, well, hello, my wonderful, beautiful brothers who are wonderful love navigation. And I'm Dr. Remember again. It's now time for, finally, part 20 of My Hero Academia Pokemon Crossover. That's right, part 20. Basically, last time, there was the climactic battle. Royal battle. Izuku finally getting that sweet, sweet revenge against Bakugo. And now, ahead of our heroes, Izuku, Shoto, Mina, and the new recruit, the new kid, the newbie, Tenko Shimura. And let's not forget Tapu Koko and Necrozma alongside them. Oh, and let's not forget the Plus and Minun duo, Plusle and Minun, where it all started. With those two. Now, their next journey. Their next destination, dracomaiyrus town. The way there is riddled with one of the most interesting obstacles in their way now. Dragon Road, or the Dragon Road. Interesting because, well, basically, now there are many options considering the Dragon Road. At least that's what it seems like. After all, the Dragon Road basically seemed to go off into many different directions, but that seems to also mainly be, because of certain architectural design. And in reality, well, it doesn't look that way at first. The Dragon Road basically is actually a lot more linear than you would think at first glance. And it leads all the way up to dracomaiyrus town, where not just the gem, there is more than just the gem to see. However, that secret is something in a whole other ballpark. They say it is called the Wish Tower, or just simply Wish Tower. Though not many have been there, many have indeed said many interesting things about it. And that might possibly be a quite frequent visiting point for the gym leader. they might possibly know a good deal about the Wish Tower and the Pokemon that is atop. Well, as continuous linear travel throughout the Dragon Road, our gang of heroes do indeed come across something very perplexing and interesting overall. Just not what they would have expected from the final gym leader. I can tell you that. The final gym leader, Ryuku. Damn it. Damn it all. Hell. Well, what the? Izuku, wait, think about what you're doing before you do it. You know, it's too late. No, it's not. Izuku! What? Tenko, what are you doing? I have to help her. Woo! What the? Gudra? Thanks, Gudra. You can return now. It seems you're mighty worried about me. Yeah, you seem deathly hurt. What could have caused that? And for someone like you to be off in the middle of the Dragon Road? Well, technically, whenever you're being chased off by what hurt you, yeah, the Dragon Road is mostly your best bet. Well, at least whenever considering it stopped following you whenever you hit the Dragon Road. Wait, what do you mean something was chasing you? Ryuku? Yes, that's my name. And, well, considering what was chasing me, technically it wasn't just one thing. Though, whatever they were, they seemed to be fighting over trying to destroy me. You're on a Dragon-type gym, and then all of a sudden Dragon-type Pokemon try to kill you. Out of nowhere. Then again, unlimited wishes, I guess, would even sound good to Pokemon. Though, I don't really get why the Legendaries would need unlimited wishes. Wait, unlimited wishes? Tenko, you know something that we don't? And just like, Shoto would be like, yeah, Tenko, you know something that we don't? And Mimi would be like, wait a second, no way. Are you talking about the cute little small Pokemon? The one that talks about a star? And Ryuki would just be like, the Pokemon atop Wish Tower. If that's what you're talking about, then yes. Though after the experience I had with the two Pokemon that greeted me at the top of Wish Tower before I could even talk to said Pokemon, I'm not really looking forward to going back up there. Would you? after being attacked by 2 giant dragons, not even giving you enough time to throw your own Pokemon out to attack back. And Tenko would just be like, "Oh, calm down, ma'am, Ryuku. What did the 2 dragons look like?" And Ryuku would just be like, "Well, one of them was black and the other one was white. And the white one seemed to have fire, and the black one seemed to have electricity. Like I said, they're both dragons. What I could tell, at least." And basically Tenko would be like, and he would say this with Izuku. Izuku would also say this. "Zekrom and Reshiram?" They would both know what Ryuku was actually talking about. And Ryuku would just be like, "Oh shit, those are the ones? Oh damn. That just makes everything worse than it already was. I tried to get people evacuated from dracomaiyrus town. But now that there's news that the Pokemon attacking you were Zekrom and Reshiram, damn it, they're never going to leave. I'll be too freaked out to listen." Last time I checked, Zekrom and Reshiram would have no reason to come here. I mean, dracomaiyrus town is indeed a hotspot for dragon Pokemon, but Zekrom and Reshiram, well, it's not exactly like they would have any high amount of reason to come here besides that. And I don't think that's a good enough reason alone to attract their attention. Of course, I've heard of legends of Kyurem, that Pokemon, eating people in the past. But that's the distant past, the very distant past. And Kyurem is in Zekrom or Reshiram, now is it? And just so you know, that was a trick question. Anyways, yeah, Zekrom and Reshiram were relentless. Last time I checked, Fusion Bolt and Fusion Flare, they literally tried to destroy me. We could have pissed them off so damn much. I don't get it. We could have made them so damn mad. Then again, there was a certain... I was told about certain individuals and their leader coming towards this direction. But to actually make it all the way to Wish Tower, and all of that, but to the top, where the Pokemon is, the possibility of infinite wishes. Those people didn't exactly look nice. They had some sort of weird insignia. Like this. And Ryuku would just show like a certain design on a piece of paper. And Tenko would just tense up, visibly tense up at the look of the design. And Izuku would just be like, "It's okay, Tenko. Mr. Ryuku, We believe we know the people who came here and that they, probably were indeed definitely the ones who made Zekrom and Reshiram so angry. Really? You know the people? Ryuko would be like, really? You know the people? Well, who is it? Who are they? And Izuku would be like, they're called Team LOV. I could remember that insignia from anywhere. But if they've pissed off Zekrom and Reshiram, that's horrible. This is not good. Especially since their sibling, Kirim, is known to have ate people in the past. And then all of a sudden you just hear, Ryuko! 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 And Ryuko will just be like, Aizawa, what the hell? What the f are you doing in the freaking dracomaiyrus freaking town? What are you freaking doing there? Don't you have a gem to run? And then all of a sudden, Gang Orca and freaking Hawks will just be on the line as well, along with Endeavor, too. And we'll just be like, they'd all be like, you have to come here, quick! Oh my god, just... Like, the line will just go dead. And, Ryuko will be like, if you don't want to be left in the dust, kiddies, I suggest you move it with me. Like, phew, like all the way there. And Izuku, and Shoto and Mina and Tenko not wanting to be left behind on all this, whatever the hell caused the line to go dead on Ryuku's X transceiver. And they just juice it all the way to dracomaiyrus town. From the Dragon Road. And what they see is absolutely horrifying. Because from what they can see, Zekrom and Reshiram weren't the only ones pissed off. Because apparently, they weren't the only ones awake whenever that happened. Something that happened, possibly just the actions of Zekrom and now Reshiram alone could have been the thing to instigate the one rage, basically wrath upon dracomaiyrus town, and said, Pokemon to insert said wrath. Well, considering most, if not all, of dracomaiyrus town is now frozen, they can clearly tell that, oh my shit, Kirim is actually awake. And apparently headed towards Wish Tower. The only thing that doesn't seem to be directly frozen over is the gym building. And that's actually good, because apparently Ryuko did not have all of her Pokemon with her whenever she left. And so she just gets all of her freaking Pokemon, and all of her freaking supplies that she can take with her, all the important shit. And she just is like, move it, move it, move it, move it. And just tries to get she's like, go, Charizard! Charizard! Nice and slow. Don't want, anything bad to happen. I mean, we don't want them to die from frostbite, but we don't want, if you apply too much heat, that could actually be bad. So, make sure you melt them nice and evenly temperatured, melt. And Charizard is heard this before, done this before, flamethrower, good old flamethrower, but not too hot, but not too cold. Basically, flamethrower. Just nice and good enough. And basically, now Ryuku's like, Altaria, Dragonair, use your dragon dance! And technically, well, they already know freaking Gudra, like, that shiz. And Basili's like, Gudra, you know, just like, over all the stuff not already melted from Charizard's flamethrower, it's just like good old fashioned dragon breath. See if like you can like recover what's already like still frozen. Good old lukewarm dragon breath. And so yeah, basically saving the entire citizens of all of Dracomaiyrus town from basically Kiram's icy wrath upon the entire place. Just turning them into human popsicles. Human and Pokemon popsicles alike. Just to eat them later. And intercept Reshiram and Zekrom now. Eat the humans and Pokemon later. Basically, that's exactly what Kiram decided to do. And basically, Kiram is now intervaling between Kiram White and Kiram Black. Black Kiram and White Kiram. Just, to keep up with Zekrom and Reshiram, which basically having a shit fit in the middle of the freaking sky above Dracomaiyrus town. And basically, Kiram knowing where they're basically headed before, intercepting them. Wish Tower. So, yeah. Ryuku wanting to make sure they get to Wish Tower before, either Team LOV or, Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kiram get there. They want to be the ones first because God help them if anyone else gets there first besides them. Because if Team LOV gets there first, God knows what they're going to plan. All like Pokemon which is able to grant infinite wishes. Like if Waffle gets his hands on a Pokemon that can grant infinite freaking wishes, that would be bad. Like no extra explanation needed. That would just be overall freaking bad. I mean, for Christ's sake, he basically caused a volcano to explode and was about to basically freaking Reggie's freaking like all out knockout drag out freaking war against Ultra Necrozma. So yeah, Totem included. And Solgaleo and Lunala included. So yeah, that. He caused that to happen. And not only that, but he betrayed freaking Tanko, who had been a little subordinate up until he got betrayed. So yeah, I do not want him to get his hands on a Pokemon that can grant infinite freaking wishes. Whatever that Pokemon may be. And basically, in the terms of Zekrom and Reshiram and Kiram, they don't want them to get anywhere near there because they're worried of the destruction of Wish Tower and the possible Pokemon that can grant infinite wishes if they get anywhere near the freaking tower. The possible ultimate destruction of the damn place. But it seems that not only is Kira more or less on their side, more or less like freezing everyone to like delay things. Not as much like crazy tongue, not as much hullabaloo. More or less like a delaying of like the problem. Sort of like causing a sort of disharmony, like disorder within the whole war path of like destruction, with like the basically Zekrom and Reshiram were causing, like speeding off towards Wish Tower. And now, because of Kyurem's ability to turn into White Kyurem and Black Kyurem, kind of able to, deal with Zekrom and Reshiram with relative ease for the time being. And note, I said for the time being. So, yeah. And also note, for now, Kyurem is on their side. Well, on their side-ish. For what reason, they aren't exactly fully sure. Like, none of them are. And even Team LLV are kind of whacked out, like the admins. But, All for One being the asshole that he is, just yells at them to get things going and actually get to the freaking top. They're already inside, just get to the top, because from what All for One has already heard, that's where the wish-granting Pokemon is. And, he's already heard as well about the fact that concerning the wishes, basically, they're infinite. He can wish for, like, anything, like however many times he wants, because the wishes are infinite. Literal infinite wishes. And so basically everyone is just moving as fast as they can. And, well, Izuku just decides, that he will not stand for this shit. So he just basically pops out Tapu Koko, and he's like, Tapu Koko freaking moonblast these mofos. And so basically the admins all trying to follow their leader, all for one, up Wish Tower. Basically they all get moonblasted into the freaking, God knows where, by Tapu Koko, but that doesn't really seem to be stopping them. They seem to just keep on coming. And so basically, Izuku's just like, don't worry guys, I got this. And Mina and Shoto, being the good friends that they've always been, in a way, they decide to stay behind to help Izuku and Tapu Koko with their little problem, leaving Tenko to be the only one to be scaling up Wish Tower. Trying to get there before, get up there to the top where the wish-granting Pokemon is, before All for One. And he realizes that the moment he gets up to the top, that basically he got up to the top at the same moment All for One did. They kind of, went up, opposite way staircases, it was almost like there's two different way staircases, and Shigaraki went up one way, and the Tenko went up one way, and All for One went up another way. So they basically make their way up there at the same damn time, and they both see what seems to be a freaking rock that seems to telepathically be talking to them something about a star. And All for One doesn't seem to be able to understand, he basically calls it jargon, jargon language. And that's whenever Tenko, who is able to understand, talking about something to do with a star, Freaking Nemesis from Resident Evil 2. Like, star. But the fact that he's able to understand it and Alpha 1 isn't, that actually does indeed tell him something. But all of a sudden he starts to get flashes in his mind, like almost like flashbacks to a time in his life whenever he was just a little kid before he like kind of ruined everything. He actually did indeed have a friend, and that friend was a Pokemon. A Pokemon in which he found that it was encased inside of a rock, but after the explosion of said rock, he found that basically the rock was encasing some sort of Pokemon within it. And the Pokemon came to tell him that basically their name was Jirachi. Yes, I mean, infinite wishes, except for the manga, that's the case with Jirachi. Except for the manga, The manga, it's not really the case, but everything else, everywhere else, Jirachi can basically grant infinite wishes. However, something interesting is that these wishes, until they're used up, they look like little stars, like little cartoon anime stars. Like little yellow glowing stars. And basically, Jirachi can give them to someone, and basically they will like either think or, basically say what they want, for their wish, and it will be granted, with Jirachi's power. Basically to grant wishes. An infinite amount. But this is very taxing on Jirachi. It seems as if it's only taxing for a certain amount of time, until Jirachi's stamina just seems to miraculously fill up out of nowhere. And this really does indeed seem to be a sort of thing to where that's kind of why Tenko parted with Jirachi, because he didn't like seeing Jirachi look hurt because of wishes that he wanted Jirachi to grant for him. He felt like he was being selfish and, ignoring the well-being of said friend. And that if he was really Jirachi's friend, that he wouldn't be doing this to Jirachi. And basically that's exactly what Jirachi would be talking about as soon as it was released from the rock this time. Basically the one like, Jirachi's friend? Jirachi's friend! And it would just try to wrap its little tiny arms around Tenko, and Tenko would be like, Jirachi? You're back! Is this where you've been all this time? And no one's been able to get to you? You've basically just been trapped here all this time. Zekrom and Reshiram, they must have known about it. They must have been telling about your energy. Knowing about your soon-to-be release. Why? Why be released from your imprisonment now? But what about now is so interesting to you, so important to you? Jirachi, there must be some reason why now you would be releasing yourself from your crystallization imprisonment. And Jirachi would just be like, Friend come to dracomaiyrus, friend come to Jirachi. Jirachi and friend reunite. Friend name Tenko. Tenko Shimura. Friend name Tenko Shimura. And basically, Tenko would be like, yes, friend named Tenko Shimura. That's my name. And everyone would just be like, he would just shoot something at Jirachi and it would go straight into the closed third eye, automatically opening it and causing it to shoot out a beam, which would automatically start to recreate something from a lost memory inside of Jirachi. It would create a monster, something Alpha 1 did not intend to happen. And also because apparently this and a certain monster is not exactly something that he can control. So he's kind of, like very scared technically, but he doesn't really want to show it. Because this monster that he pretty much created, he cannot control it and he cannot stop it. That's basically whenever Reshiram and Zekrom and Kyurem all redirect their attention to basically what looks like a freaking Dementor version of Groudon. Like some freaking Hellspawn version of Groudon. From the movie, a Pokemon movie like Jirachi Wishmaker. And, well, this basically action that Alpha 1 did, basically Tenko would try to pluck the machine out. And he'd be able to do so, but he realized that Jirachi was now in pain. Because the third eye is not to be opened. This caused Jirachi pain. And seeing Jirachi in pain, it caused Tenko to be in pain. Because he hates seeing Jirachi like that. Because, like was said, they're friends. And so automatically, right out of nowhere, freaking Alpha 1 did not expect this at all. Just cut back and BAM! Right in the face. And Alpha 1, he got punched so damn hard by Tenko. And after Tenko just realizing what just happened, Jirachi basically getting forced to unleash the freaking Dementor Groudon mofo by Alpha 1. And automatically the first thing for Tenko to do is basically just freaking Falcon Punch Alpha 1 in the face so hard that he just actually falls off of the top of Wish Tower. Yeah, not kidding you. Falls off of the top of the damn thing. And just to give you a perspective, it's not like 5, 10, 12 stories high. This thing is damn like 16 to 18 stories high. Possibly even 22 if you count everything. Like, if you count everything, like 22 to 24 stories high tower is Wish Tower. And, from that height, that tall of a height, it's safe to say Alpha 1, if he's not dead, he is definitely severely crippled. From the everything down, or up, considering it's pretty much his everything, is like severely crippled. He got punched hard, too. And just Jirachi seeing Tenko act this way, Jirachi just remembering how Tenko wanted Jirachi to leave because, realizing what he was doing was hurting Jirachi, and, Jirachi now realizing that seeing as Alpha 1 caused, Jirachi pain, caused it pain, and then automatically just freaking Falcon punched Alpha 1 in the face so hard that he literally fell off the top of the tower. And, there was so much weight behind that punch that Tenko actually started to fall himself. And Jirachi being not just Steel-type, but actually, not just Steel-type, but the lightest, weighted Steel-type. But not only that, but, like a dual typing. Not just Steel, but also Psychic. And because of this, basically being able to levitate Tenko, like, make sure he does not fall. Because, like Jirachi said, they are friends. And Tenko even said it. They are friends. And basically, Zekrom, Reshiram, and Kirin now all realizing that basically the problem has been solved for the time being in dracomaiyrus Town, all basically go back to doing whatever they were doing before they decided to harass the freaking 8th gym leader, that being Ryuku, whatever the frick her name is. Basically Ryuku. And, basically, Jirachi being like, friend? Tenko friend? And Tenko just being like, Jirachi, you saved me. Thank you. And Jirachi would just be like, of course Jirachi saved friend. Of course. Jirachi and Tenko best friends. Best friends forever. Well, basically, what happened after that? Well, basically get down off the top of the tower in a way that wouldn't either cripple or kill them, considering the damn thing is 22 to 24 freaking stories high at the smallest. And, well, basically, after being inside its crystallized, freaking hibernation for so long, Jirachi doesn't even remember how long. Though it does know that forever how long it's been in there, it's definitely too long for Jirachi to, still be alive. For it to still be, alive. So, as a last parting gift before it has to basically go to Poke freaking Valhalla, basically, a single last wish to basically be split in between Tenko and all of his buddies. Basically, the 4 points of the star being the split points, and the center basically being the energy distributed in between the different points. However, there is a 5th point, and Jirachi saying that that 5th point will be the thing allowing Jirachi to watch over them even after it ascended into basically Poke freaking Valhalla. So even after pretty much death, it would still be watching them. That's Jirachi's part of the big wish. And basically, Jirachi also informing everyone that they don't necessarily have to voice their wish out loud in order for it to come true. So it's basically kind of like a birthday wish, but not exactly, because you can either voice it out loud or not voice it out loud and it will still come true. So this is basically like a super wish, because it's split in between like all of them, even Jirachi, as like the fifth point of the star. So yeah, basically Jirachi's wish to be able to watch over them, even if Jirachi does not have a physical form, it will have like a non-corporeal form that will basically watch from the equivalent of Poke Valhalla. And, well, that wish would be granted. Soon Jirachi would disappear, as Tanko would be like, goodbye, friend. And Jirachi would say goodbye too, and it would be on like a tear-jerking moment, like, aww. It'd also be like, it wouldn't just be a tearjerker, it would be like one of those aww moments. Because, Jirachi is freaking adorable, and I don't care what you say, Jirachi is freaking adorable. And as for the wishes that the others would make, Izuku, Shoto, Mina, and Tenko, well, technically, seeing as, I don't know how many parts ago it was, but I said about Mina and Shiro, like, having that little love triangle competition. Basically, Mina would secretly wish for, proper thing to give Izuku whenever she finally managed to grow the ovaries to actually just go up and tell him. And so, a little, ring and, well, something nice to wear for the special occasion whenever it was finally time. And basically, Mina would basically be like, it would finally be the time whenever Izuku would be, able to basically go to the league. Basically, the league as in the Elite Four and Champion. Basically, the time in between that and the end of this whole thing with the 8th gym leader, that'd be the time whenever she would drop the bomb. The big old bomb. Drop the news. And, that whole thing. Basically, Mina wishing basically for, the stuff to make everything right. And so, on top of basically wishing for the white, the right, drip for the occasion, and, even like a ring, not really wishing for all that, but more or less wishing for the right stuff whenever she finally does grow the ovaries to just freaking, announce her love for him. Because don't act like Mina isn't aware about Jiro's growing advances. X-Trans, you recalls anybody? X-Transit recalls anybody? So don't think like Amina isn't aware of that shit. So yeah, that would basically be Mina's wish. And Shoto's wish basically they basically have something to do with having a better chance at mending the wounds of his family. You know, because as he is now, he realizes that he's not going to be too lucky with that, but he kind of comes up with something, basically. He finally realizes now, like, something that he didn't realize the first time he saw the man. He finally realizes that Dabi is actually his brother Toya. And that, basically, he would wish for something basically to show Toya that things are better now. That things can go back to the way that they were before everything went to hell and high water. You know, the perfect way to, get Toya to be able to, to live a family like them again. So basically, Mina, romantic advances, and Shoto basically wanting to, mend his broken family, broken home. As for Izuku, his whole wish, basically, what would he wish for? Does he even have a need for his wish? Well, considering things, I guess there would need to be one thing that Izuku would be dying to get, an answer to. The exact, everything to do with Puzzle's powers. These powers that Puzzle just seems to have gained from all this ultra wormhole radiation. Basically, the answer to all of it. So that, not necessarily get rid of it, but just the answer to everything that seemed to be puzzling him and even Puzzle for so damn long. He would just want the answer to all of it. So Izuku doesn't indeed believe that there is one thing that he could wish for, just the answer to all of it. Regardless if it's a good answer or not, if that's a good thing or not to wish for, if he would like the answer or not, regardless, he just wants the answer to every problem. He just would want to know the answer. He's not know if he's gonna want to know it after he actually figures it out or not, but he's just hoping that the answer to everything, if the whole wish thing doesn't indeed work out, that the answer is able to at least give him and Puzzle something of a sort of rest of their minds, put their whole problem to rest in a way. Because that's always been a thing, the danger of the hidden, unseen truths of what's actually going on with Flussel. And even to some extent Minen, but, well, with the way Tenko kind of was during a, duration of time, that all happened. Yeah, that. As for, Tenko's wish, Oi, oi, oi. Yeah, Tenko's wish. See, the thing about Tenko is he would kind of already know the answers. It's just the answers that he does know about. He's not exactly thinking that there's going to be things that Izuku's wanting to actually learn, because there might be some very bad side effects from him learning about that shit. That's what Tenko's always been thinking ever since actually joining the group. Very bad side effects of him actually learning about that shit. Though he's already chosen his wish, chosen that as his wish, so yeah, Tenko can't really do anything about that right now. Yeah, because it's kind of just locked and loaded now. Sit right in. Now, basically. As for Tenko's wish, oh boy. Technically, what Tenko is planning to wish for, it can only wish for in a certain language, which neither Shoto nor Mina nor Izuku can understand. Tenko basically, Taze Sensho no Kono Senkonemeshin Set Kansero Yinkonanse Shensomada Parasishia Gikono Soba Nyomoshina Monson Konkone Kanashina Mensen Chinshinan Konkoro Ganshina Sanseme Izo Sotai Mayo Kokanendo Gorko Kono Sebero Sishin Mashikan Kankai Makango Kankai Sesezo Ushidame Yoshidame Kakara Kansara Kakarakai Sisamo Sakaimon Sakaroshi Ekono Shidama Sekakana Gosa Kakuru Koroshina Bapora Bipasa Kakareseno Meshiro Kakareseno Basemashino Kakaresempo Moromoroshi Taikai Sempo. Basically, as soon as he will open his eyes, he would say Sempo. And basically, Izuku, Shoto, Mina, They have no fucking idea what he just wished for. And, well, you know, when people start speaking in certain tongues that you don't understand, and that seems like it's not even a coherent language, and even Ryuko was there, and technically, the look that Ryuko is now giving everyone, especially freaking Tenko, after hearing all of that, is not a look you want from anyone. And then it would happen. Something very, very wrong. Very, very bad. But our heroes would not know that yet. At least the ones that didn't actually wish for it to happen. Certain parts of the hero region would either be blazing hot or raining freaking everywhere. And if you know what that means, oh boy, you don't even know half of what he wished for. But just know that it has something to do with that. But that's not nearly all of what it actually has to do with. It's just somewhat like some part of what he wished for, basically. And basically, Ryuko will just be going there and be like shaking Tenko, being like, "What the f did you wish that for?" And basically, like, Izuku wanting to freaking know, like, what was that? Why did he start speaking in a language which no one could freaking understand? And basically, Ryuko was talking right there, being like, technically, it's more or less a dead language. Yeah, a dead language. Yeah. Oh boy. Basically, Ryuko would just be like, you know, she would ask all of them, is like, you ever heard of the ruins of Alph? And Izuku basically would be like, yes. How is that important? And basically, Ryuko would be like, the people there before the ruins of Alph became ruins, that was the language they spoke. And you know, basically, pretty much everyone that knows about the ruins of Alph know the shit that goes on there. The 100 Arms of Arceus, also known as the Unknown, they heavily reside there. And they can even mess with the frequency on the radio of certain Johto trainers, you know, venturing throughout the lands, just so happen to be stumbling upon the ruins of Alph. And so basically, he's like, so wait. Whatever Tenko wished for, he wished for it in the dead language of the people who once lived in the ruins of Elf before they became ruins. So what were they before? And basically Ryuko would be like, just simply Alf. That was the name of the place, the Alf region. However, after the ruins of Alf were discovered, it was basically discovered that they basically covered by what is now considered the Senjo region, or basically the split in between Sinnoh and Johto. Which is why it is highly known about the legend of Arceus Senjo over there. However, wishing a certain wish in the dead language of the people of the once very flourishing Alf region, now basically the Senjo region, the split in between Sinnoh and Johto. That's basically how big the Alf region was. Yeah. And the Alf region actually seemed to somewhat transcend time and space. However, an ancient cataclysm of unknown origin seemed to have basically damned the people of Alf to what seems to be an eternal hell, in which they came back as the form of the 100 Arms of Arceus, the unknown. They came back as members of that specific family of Pokemon. Each unknown there is one of the many members of the Alf region that once existed. Not many people know about this because, well, it was tried very hard by both people of the Johto region and Sinnoh region, and even those of the Kanto region, more knowledgeable than others, to make sure that no one ever knew, no one ever figured out about this secret, this dirty secret, this smudge on the record of all three different places. Seeing as Johto is indeed interconnected with Kanto. So it would also be a smudge on Kanto's record as well. I'm not exactly learned on Alf language, but there are indeed some things out of that I can understand, though not exactly in the best of ways. Young man, what you wished for? I hope you're ready for the consequences. Young man, you may have just doomed us all. Kenko would simply be like, only doomed if you believe us to be. That is the philosophy of those now the ruins of Alf in the form of unknown. The ones known to be the 100 Arms of Arceus Senjo. Their philosophy, you are only doomed if you believe yourself to be doomed. Or, shall I put it better? Shall I say, Senese, Silashanese, Sanase, Sana shall I say, and Alcesashe. Asasela, Analela, Saslera, Sase, Sasasela, Sase. You're only doomed if you believe yourself to be doomed. And simply from that, you can even drag others into being doomed should they hear you speak such nonsense. And then Riku will just smack Tenko in the face. And now they're dead! Brought back as part of Arceus' 100 arms. 100 hands as well. Trapped within the ruins of a once prospering region because of their dumbass philosophy. And Tenko not exactly taking a liking to that. Basically being like, Still it makes no difference. Sasen no sen. Kabarikana. Tensega. Good is only good if you believe it to be good. Evil is only evil if you believe it to be evil. So says the great Lord of Alph. And people wonder why my parents died whenever they did. Making me so learned on such a world inside this world. A world of Alph. The Alph region. Maybe if they didn't want to end up dead, they shouldn't have allowed me to learn up on such things. Such as the entirety of Alph. Senkano senshida imasina heshida. Semino toroku no koneshina no no. So says Alph, we are free. The first king is dead. Rejoice. The second king is dead. Now we are losing our heads. The third king is dead. No more. No more. Sadly, no more. Says I, says they, says us, says all around us, says the Lord of Alph. Says who wishes to combat God. Says he who wishes to combat Alph. And Ryuku will basically just be like, Izuku, your friend is mental. He's going to drag all of you down with him. I'd get rid of him as soon as possible if I were you. He's going to drag all of us down with him. This is over. I am done and over with all this bullshit. Wait a second. It wasn't raining this hard a while ago. This is a part of Kyogre's doing. That means farthest from us. Springleaf. Say, does your Pokedex have anything, sort of a thermometer to guess the different temperatures of different areas in the Euro region? Izuku? And Izuku would be like, oh yeah, how did you guess that? I guess it can't be that surprising. I'm not very good with tech. So, where exactly do you want me to look? And Ryuku would just be like, Springleaf. And Izuku would just be like, okay, what? And basically it would be like, everything would just seem to be dead from absolute no hydration. All the water dried up, and a blazing heat of the sun. And basically Izuku would be like, good God, the temperature level is insane. Oh, I hope Mom is okay. Oh, this is really, really not good. And since trying to surf over there isn't going to be any good either. Wait. A while ago, I was told to surf southwest of Springleaf. And basically, Ryuku is like a 2 plus 2 equals 4, and this sounds like good. Because if you had surfed south in the other direction, and Izuku is just like, why hanging on your sentences? Like, why trying to pause for dramatic effect or something? And basically, Ryuko would just finish with, you would have ran into something very ugly. And it wouldn't even be Groudon or Kyogre's fault. Oh, boy. Have any of you ever heard of a Santure Island? And basically Zuko would be like, Santure Island? And, well, Ryuku would just be like, basically explains the other direction. If you surfed over there, you would come across Santure Island. And Izuku would be like, why would they not want us to go over to Santure Island? What's over there that's so bad? And Ryuku would just be like, oh, kid, you have no idea. Especially now that the whole thing with Groudon and Kyogre. Oh, boy. You ever heard of the Opaque Lake? And Izuku would just be like, wait, that's a Santure Island? And Ryuku would just be like, yeah, it's pretty much the centerpiece of the island. A literal island with the centerpiece being a lake. So basically, inside of the ocean, there's an island, which instead of said island, is a literal lake. Yeah, you try to wrap your head around that. And Izuku would just be like, "Oh, how is that important?" And Riku's like, "You gotta be kidding me, kid. You've heard the stories. Besides, anyways, they're not stories. They're actually, pretty much the truth, like the Loch Ness frickin' monster Pokemon. Yeah, basically. The whole thing about the ozone layer, well, it's kind of hard to find peace in the ozone layer where there's a bunch of freaking dragons in the middle of the sky going absolutely ape shit, like AWOL up in his house. And whenever said Pokemon cannot find solace within the ozone layer because of said ape shit AWOL ness, it's other place, the opaque lake. Yeah, that's right. If you find Santure Island, basically after everything that's happened, you should also find you know what. I mean, it would all pretty much be surprising if you know what had already left, you know? And basically, it was like, Blastoise, Surf, and basically, Tango, Shoto, and Mina basically like, waited for us. And they would just connect the raft to Blastoise's body and basically be like, onward to Santure Island. And basically, Blastoise would make its way over and then just bump into something along the way, and then they would actually figure out that what Blastoise bumped into, basically skull bashing straight into the side of Santure Island, like its shore, its main shore. Basically, Izuku looking for the opaque lake, trying to get tips from the locals. Only it seems now that you know what, or, well, those of you that played Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the Subspace Emissary, you would know what that I'm hinting at. Now that it has returned to the lake instead of the ozone layer, like a good little what it is, people are no longer interested in living there. They do not want its wrath upon them. They are not ready to deal with some freaking Pulp Fiction shit with Samuel Jackson. They are not ready for that. None of them are. It is until Izuku just so happens to bump into someone with a very peculiar mustache and hat. Yes, that's right. Mr. Pokemon. And it just so happens that the thud that is made, that basically whenever they bump into each other, has woken something up from within the opaque lake. And basically, right as, Izuku and Mr. Pokemon are trying to apologize to each other, and Izuku finally figure out, freaking, oh shit, you're Mr. freaking Pokemon. Basically, all that shit. It was like, whoa! Like, just out of the freaking, boom! Freaking green ass lizard thing. And, Izuku just like, oh shit. And basically, whenever freaking Mr. Pokemon got knocked over by Izuku, something fell out of a box that he was holding. It was like a relatively small box. And basically, whenever this thing popping up from the freaking opaque lake, it basically caught the thing that fell out of the box. That being a Mega Rayquaza thing. Yes, that's right. Brawl reference! Rayquaza! or Rayquaza, whatever the hell, however you want to freaking pronounce the damn name. Basically now activating the Mega Rayquaza. Freaking Mega Rayquaza. And Izuku is now having to deal with that. The fact that he just caused that to happen by bumping into Mr. freaking Pokemon, who he had no idea was actually there, or that he would ever get the chance to meet the man. Then basically Rayquaza charging up a freaking Hyper Beam. It's like, whoa! It's like freaking Hyper Beam. And, Tapu Koko's like, freaking do something! And Izuku was like, oh shit. He's like, Tapu Koko, do your thing! And they like, let's do this. Let's show him! Zap Cannon! It's like, and basically Zap Cannon like cut open the Hyper Beam and just send it into different directions. And like the wave from the freaking Zap Cannon, just like kind of like what happened with Fox's Reflector in Brawl, knocking the Hyper Beam back into freaking Rayquaza's face. Only since this is freaking Mega Rayquaza we're talking about, doesn't do nearly as much damage. Basically just pisses off more like it. And, freaking Tenko just being like, well, now that there's no longer this lady, like, freaking chastising me, I just now remembered I have a Necrozma. Just like, go Necrozma, freaking Photon Geyser this asshole. And basically Photon Geyser freaking Mega Rayquaza in the face. And as Rayquaza's going down from just getting smacked in the freaking head with a Photon Geyser, right after dealing with some Polaris Steel like damage with like freaking Polaris stat, just all of a sudden Izuku would be like, Tapu Koko, Moonblast! And freaking, like, Tenko being like, Necrozma! Prismatic Laser! It was like, smack! Boom! It was like, move, bitch! Get out the way! Get out the way, bitch! Get out the way! And that just happened to freaking knock the freaking Rayquaza, not only just kicking its ass, like knocking it out of its Mega Evolution, as well, like, and Izuku decides to freaking stroll over there, and basically, like, that. And, well, basically, Izuku was just like looking at Mina and then looking at Shoto, then Mina, then Shoto, then Mina, then Shoto. And basically, like, catch, you two. Like, one of them has to catch. And basically, they both like jump up and like they would smack each other's hands away. And then all of a sudden, like Rayquaza just getting up and be like, it's like, just like blasting like all generally around everywhere. Causing Shoto to do like a freaking backflip in midair, but causing him to like get farther away from the Mega Rayquaza, and this just basically allowing Mina to catch it before it hits the ground, because she wasn't directly in front of Rayquaza whenever it freaking roared. so didn't really get dealt all that much damage. Unlike Shota, who basically had to backflip in order to not get torn to shreds whenever freaking Rayquaza like roared. You know, it was that powerful that only another legendary or legendaries can defeat it. And so basically, considering that that's basically all Rayquaza can do left, Shoto, decides, this is my chances, my opportunity. I'll make the best out of this. Well, at least that's what he was thinking until he actually, gets actually conscious in his head. As basically Tenko was trying to get him to realize he got blasted back by the roar, which means Mina was closer and she got it. And Shoto was like, hey, damn it. Damn it all. And Mina is just like, holy shit. And, well, basically, just be like, pew! It's like, be like, do, 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 do. Like, do, 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 do. You caught Rayquaza, and just basically the item it was holding, the Mega Rayquazite. Basically, the thing allows it to evolve into Mega Rayquaza. You're just getting used to it, guys, because I'm going to basically do that. Pronounce it both as Rayquaza and Rayquaza. Just out of freaking nowhere, just out of left field. Deciding to let you guys know that that is just something I do. That is how I do. I either would call it Rayquaza or Rayquaza. It is just something that is like random with me. And basically, Mina just now catching freaking Rayquaza because she wasn't the one directly being smacked by a freaking roar. But something that Shoto does notice is that there seems to be a pitter-patter of footsteps near the end, like the other end, like backwards end of what seems to be what's left of the opaque lake. And it basically seems like there was a Pokemon there trying to check to see what exactly was going on. Well, it's a Pokemon sort of like a sort of guardian-ish, seeing exactly why exactly Rayquaza was not in the ozone layer like it's supposed to be. And, well, basically Shoto's able to catch a glance and then just go for it, like speed over and, the Pokemon, not really sure like what Pokemon it is because, like, good lord, there's so much mist over this side of, the island. I just not know how frigging mist came everywhere around. And he just realizes, wait, this isn't just any ordinary mist. Whatever this Pokemon is doing, basically it's using the move Haze. Basically using the move Haze. And, well, basically, Shoto is basically like, this is interesting. And Shoto was just like, well, whatever the hell you are, I can't exactly see because of all of the damn freaking haze everywhere. And then finally, all the haze would part, and at the last second, right as the Pokeball had hit, it's almost like parting the haze was basically the equivalent of this Pokemon resigning itself, basically seeing how all these people around And one of these people was able to basically slap Rayquaza silly along with their friend, their partner, you know, and basically just selflessly give it to some other person. And so basically, with this knowledge in its head, being like, these guys seem like nice people. I mean, it can't be that bad to join them. So, now, all four of them have freaking legendary Pokemon. Izuku with Tapu Koko, Tenko with Necrozma, Mina with freaking Rayquaza. Like, what the literal hell? And now that finally everything is parted because he had made it back to the other side of the island, finally, he basically decided to release like the Pokemon from the Pokeball so he can finally get a good look at what he freaking caught. Shoto literally seeing this Pokemon as like the water purifier. Like any water it's around, it automatically becomes pure. And like purification, like water purification. And he automatically remembers, oh wait, that Pokemon that does that. Holy shit. And you just hear Suicune. Like, you just hear Suicune. Yes, freaking Shoto caught freaking Suicune. I mean, whenever you consider Pokemon freaking Crystal, yeah, it's basically the star Pokemon of Pokemon Crystal, not Entei, so basically it is literally the star Pokemon of Pokemon Crystal, so why not? Plus, it kind of goes on with Shoto's motif of kind of like ice, fire, or water related things. And considering Suicune literally purifies water that it's around, I mean, why the hell not? And it was only pure luck that freaking Mina caught that. So, yeah. That happened. And I think this is where I'm basically going to end off part freaking 19 of MHA PkMn Crossover. Right about now. Deuces.